Yes, we do. But meanwhile, there you have the fist bump. We are off to the races. We are GHOLDENGO here in our Swiss round 14. And it looks like it's going to be Nico going first with a... Oh, I was about to say not a great hand, but no, actually, the hand's phenomenal. You've got Fog Crystal, you've got Radiant Greninja, you've got Battle VIP Pass. You are rolling. Yeah, that is going to give you a decent chance of setting up nice and quickly here. We love Battle VIP Pass. We love turn 1 Radiant Greninja. This is rather lovely. Yeah, starting with that Manaphy is like not necessarily ideal. It's something you'd rather put down later, but of course, you are going up against GHOLDENGO when it is one of these lists that is playing the Palkia V-Star. So there is always that threat of a potential, Star Portal to power up a Radiant Greninja and get a double KO. Now we're starting this Manaphy, you just don't need to worry about it. No, absolutely not. We got Palkia on one side, and that's the thing, these GHOLDENGO decks are actually played with Palkia. It's kind of a weird high, it's almost like decks I've made way too many times in the past, where you're kind of mashing two decks together, but actually GHOLDENGO can KO anything. Palkia is just a good, efficient attacker. You mash them together, and you end up with a very, very good deck. And kind of like we saw in our last round together with Entei, Palkia's damage depends on the amount of bench Pokemon you and your opponent have. Gardevoir is not a deck that's good at restricting its bench. No, very much not. It needs to get as many rolls down as possible. You need your support Pokemon, you need your Manaphy, you need your Radiant Greninja. So, yeah, right now, Palkia is just looking like it's going to get stronger and stronger the more Nico sets up. Yeah, Palkia's a pretty good deck, it turns out. I mean, it was, of course, the top tier contender for a long time. I remember that one, the Regionals top 8, where I think it was literally all Palkia. Yeah, there was an Oceania event over in Australia where literally the entire top 8, shortly after release of Astral Radiance, we had literally an entire top 8 of Palkia. Nowadays, apparently, its best friend is a golden stack of coins on a surfboard. Go figure, right? Wild world. So, another Marot's down there from Nico from the level ball. There's a Fog Crystal still to play. Oh, wait, did he play it already? I think he just played level ball now and played the Fog Crystal too. So, that is the full bench there, ready to go. But that does mean, as we already mentioned, that Origin Form Palkia V-Star will be able to do the maximum of the 260 damage with that Subspace Swell. Yeah, 60 damage base plus 20 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. 2 full benches, 260. It's not quite enough to actually KO a Gardevoir EX. But it will get almost anything else, and that's where GHOLDENGO comes in. Yeah, now Yellow's going to have a very, very solid setup themselves, so did have a Battle VIP pass in hand already, but drew another one off of the top of the deck, so really going to be loving life right now. Yeah, this one's going to be very, very nice. I mean, double Battle VIP pass, turn 1. What more do you want? That's going to get you all of your basics. It is going to be lovely. And I kind of love when you get the double Battle VIP pass, because you basically get your perfect setup. You get to go, this is my perfect bench, I'm going to go grab it. Yeah, it's absolutely where you want to be, and he's also going to have a quick look through again to see what's prized. We know that both players' prizes are pretty workable in this game, so not going to be anything that there's too much upset about, but you just want to get down as many Gimmighoul's as you can. You want to evolve up from a Gimmighoul to GHOLDENGO, because once you do that, of course, you can start doing those coin bonus abilities, and then you're just off to the races drawing so many cards. Yeah, it's what you're looking for. You draw a bunch of cards, you get a bunch of energy, you discard all that energy, you get massive smashes, and you win, and life is good. That's what you're going for here. Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah, they're taking his time here a little bit. Just, okay, whilst he's searching, gotta point out, I absolutely adore the way the artware and the illustration rare and special illustration rare of GHOLDENGO and Gimmighoul match together. So you put like one above the other, and they complete the whole picture. I love it when they do that. Yeah, the card art matches perfectly. You got your Gimmighoul and your GHOLDENGO there. You put them together, and it's basically GHOLDENGO standing over Gimmighoul being like, count money faster. I assume that's the conversation that they have, honestly. It can only be that. So, yeah, GHOLDENGO really setting up well. There's... Whoa, what was that? Oh, I guess I got a little bit confused there. I saw something purple. I guess that's like the one Gimmighoul that isn't the art rare. It's got a bit of a mismatching thing going on, of course. Oh, it's that 70 HP Gimmighoul as well. Yeah, so there's a 50 HP Gimmighoul with Call for Family, and then the 70 HP, so it's a 3-1 split. 3 of the 70 HP and 1 of the 50 HP, which is there because it's got Call for Family, goes and gets a basic Pokemon. You hope to never use it, but it's there if you need it. Yeah. It also has got a retreat cost of 1, which in some situations, of course, can be relevant if you need to retreat into something else, say into a Palkia, so that can come into play as well. It absolutely can. We got a Manaphy down, we got the free fancy Gimmighoul, we've got ourselves a Radiant Greninja, and we got a Palkia. And look, Yell's basically been able to go and get
all of the basics that they want, that is their perfect board.
Yeah, that is, and oh wow, okay, and Avery as well. That is.
Oh, that's just mean.
That's phenomenal. That's what that is. So, of course, Avery there just so you draw when you play it, you draw 3 cards, and your opponent has to discard cards on the bench until they go down to 3. And when you go up against like Gardevoir that needs all of its bench to go, then yeah, that is a phenomenal start.
Yeah, it does lower Palkia's damage output a little bit, but right now that is absolutely not what you're worried about. Damage output here is not going to be an issue. What Zhao really wants to get here is nice big hits, and the Palkia early game is going to be great, because in theory, hopefully, you get the first couple of attacks, the first couple of KOs.
Yeah, and that is exactly where you want to be. So, with the Pokestop as well, just going to end the turn with a Rule the Region. Of course, it's, you know, there's not really much else you can do turn 1 for GHOLDENGO. There aren't really big turn 1 attacking threats, but you just get Stadium out of the deck with Rule the Region. You know, maybe this Pokestop gets replaced, then you have another one in hand. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not your turn 1 play, but there is no real turn 1 play. This is a turn 2 deck. In theory, next turn, you V-Star, you attach your second energy, and you start the prize trade. That is what you're going for. Early Palkia, and that's what you're trying to do here. Palkia sits there taking these early little prizes, and then when something comes in that Palkia can't deal with, GHOLDENGO's like, hi!
Hi, I'm going to make it rain.
Oh, it's such a good attack name.
It really, really is.
I once went into my local game store and I asked if they wanted me to pay normal or make it rain, and they said make it rain, so I made it rain.
Well, with GHOLDENGOs?
No, with real cash money. Turns out they did not like that, and then I had to pick it all up.
But I mean, okay, if they literally told you to offer you to do it, though,
they
right?
said it.
Yeah.
They said it.
Yeah, I mean, that's on them. I think, you know what? I respect it.
My only story about the phrase "make it rain."
Yeah.
Now we do see an Ino coming down here. The fabled Ino putting both players to 6. It's not the disruption that you want it for in the late game, but it is really good just for refreshing your hand.
And this is exactly why Ino is such a great card. It is not only that disruption, but in the early game, when you need to, you can use it for that hand refresh, and that's exactly why it's one of the most played cards in the game. Yeah,
whereas something like Roxanne is just as good for disruption, sometimes better, but the problem is in the early game, you're literally not allowed to play it. So we do have the refinement coming down. What can Nico get rolling?
So yeah, refinement number 1, discarding a Psychic Energy, and then refinement number 2, discarding another Psychic Energy, so already setting up the discard pile nicely. Doesn't look like there's going to be any crazy KOs or anything like that. We'd have to put down a Zacian and a Reg handing into a Gardevoir EX. I don't think that's quite on the table. There is a Mew, though. Maybe you could just, you know, attach to the Manaphy, retreat, and go for a Mysterious Tail, get some more items out of the deck.
I mean, absolutely could work. Mysterious Tail, grabbing items, always a fun thing to do. And oh, look, you nailed it. Here comes a Mew with Mysterious Tail. You do need a pivot for that Manaphy. Could be as simple as, yeah, just attaching an energy and discarding it. And that is exactly what happened there. So, can we get an item card?
Yeah, let's see. What should be another Battle VIP pass now, as so often happens. But 6 off the top. And, oh, is that nothing? Oh, no, it's an Ultra Ball, okay.
It's an Ultra Ball, so that's not bad, actually.
No, not at all. I mean, you need that for next turn, right? You want to get both of your Gardevoirs out, both the EX and the single prize Shining Arcana one. And like we mentioned at the beginning, right, one of the ways that Nico's going to have a very good time in this game is if he can just consistently attack with single prize attackers. Yella has no single prize attackers. Like, you're all in on Palkia, V-Star, and GHOLDENGO, or GHOLDENGO, rather. So you just can't really match against that well.
No, and that's the thing. And GHOLDENGO's to 260 HP, stage 1 Pokemon. That is quite a hard dude to actually go and get a KO on, and it can literally KO anything. I did not give this deck enough credit. It's one of the reasons I said it was underrated a minute ago. I did not give it enough credit when I first saw it coming around. We got an Earthen Vessel here, going to get some energy.
Yeah, that was a very solid Pokestop. So it was Pokestop, discard, and then it was a Water Energy, the Battle VIP Pass, and the Earthen Vessel. So energy and discard, Earthen Vessel, and then the fodder to discard off of it.
Well, it's a point that Shay made earlier very nicely, that this is a deck where you kind of don't mind having energy in the discard because you can get it back with energy retrieval. We see a similar thing with Batcalibur decks. Problem is, of the 4 superior energy retrieval, 2 of them are prized.
Yes.
So you don't want too much energy in the discard, because that could end up getting awkward.
Yeah, you have to sort of time it well so that, you know, you work with your first few ones in the early turns, you get the later ones out of the prizes, and you finish out the game, you know, as and when you can.
Now, we did actually just see a draw there from Gel into a Palkia V-Star. So that is going to lead, as long as you've got an energy, that could just be a KO on the Mew straight away.
It could, although here's what I'm thinking. You really want to KO that Manaphy if possible, because if you can KO that Manaphy, you can set up a really nice play where you can then go for the Radiant Greninja double knockout with the Moonlight Shuriken.
Oh, that would be beautiful. I would enjoy that. That'd be a fun play.
And you can get and if you find enough cross switches, you can pull it off. And this would be a way to get the prize trade back in his favor, right? Because we're just talking about how there's no easy way to, you know, do the prize trade when you're mostly attacking with 2 prizes and your opponent is attacking with single prizes. But if you KO the Manaphy, suddenly you can take a double KO, and that's on the table again.
That helps a lot. We did see a worker play, drawing cards and getting rid of a stadium. And it looks like we are going for an Ultra Ball here. Could this be our first Goldengo?
I think so. And also, not only that, I'm fairly sure I saw the double cross switcher in hand.
Oh, and we're actually, we saw there's 2 in deck. We saw the counting there, making sure they're all of it is in hand. You're absolutely correct, Fred. There's double cross switcher in hand. Yeah, this could be fun.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see if that is what he goes for. I mean, the fact that he kind of sort of looked at it in the hand, like I did a little bit, makes me think that he is kind of aware of this. And I think it makes sense to go for here because it just gives you another option to keep the prize trade fair.
And, of course, the Radiant Greninja is really easily built up. You use Origin Form Palkia's Star Portal. That accelerates the energy. It's not just Superior Energy Retrieval, it's also Star Portal. And, oh, look, Greninja's just ready to go super easily.
Yeah, I guess the only issue there would be if Nico was able to recover the Manaphy. And, of course, you have a lot of draw with the refinements. You do have recovery cards in the deck, and I'm sure that will probably be a priority if Nico does end up, you know, with his Manaphy KO'd. But here we see, oh, Goldengo number 1, coin bonus. Goldengo number 2, coin bonus again. We're going to see a third?
Yeah, you draw 1 card per Goldengo, but if it's in the active, you actually get to draw a second. There's double cross switcher, ignoring the Manaphy, going for the Curlier, basically saying to Nico, I want to go after your engine.
Yeah.
Also, very much worth pointing out that Curlier is weak 2.
Metal.
So you only actually need to discard a single energy from your hand with Make It Rain to get the KO on the Curlier here. That's 100 damage. We saw a similar thing yesterday with Comfey, which everybody always forgets is actually weak to metal, and it means that you can be discarding a single energy from your hand and taking out these Pokemon. It's
so, of course, with the advent of Sword and Shield, we saw the Fairy type, you know, coming out of the game, and I guess they now kind of get rolled into the Psychic type, but you still have this distinction where the Pokemon that would be Fairy have this metal type weakness instead. And we do see Make It Rain. Goldengo is raining all over Curlier. Curlier's in the discard pile, and it was just a single energy discarded. It's one of the things, you know, I talked about using Palkia in the early game just for getting those little KOs and poking away, but actually Goldengo's really good at doing that as well against these smaller Pokemon. Yeah, it is. And it is interesting that Yell didn't opt to go for the KO on the Manaphy, but I guess he's thinking, like you said, maybe the better way for me to win this is to cut off their consistency, cut off their engine, just have it so that there's less things to evolve on the field and just targeting down these Curliers before they evolve. And discarding 1 energy rather than 2. It's fewer resources. That is also something we bear in mind, but you're absolutely right. Getting rid of that engine is fun. So looks, we've got an Ultra Ball coming down here. We're going to see another Curlier, or we're going to see our first Gardevoir. That's your answer. I mean, yeah, they didn't need to wait very long for that one, did we? The Shiny Arcana Gardevoir coming in. There's the Super Rod, so I guess going back to what we were saying before, if the Manaphy was KO'd, Nico would be able to get it back. And maybe that's also why. Maybe Yella's thinking, hold on, it actually gets me further in the game if I take out the engine, because if I take out the Manaphy, it's just going to get brought back. Quite possibly. One thing important to note, Gardevoir EX is not weak to metal, it is weak to darkness. So everything else, you're going to be getting really easy with Goldengo, and it's actually got 310 HP. It will be 7 energy discarded from Goldengo to get that KO on Gardevoir. That's a lot. Yeah, it's Psychic Embrace, it's not Fairy Embrace. It's, you know, it's very much a Psychic type Gardevoir with that's a weakness to match. So, yeah, very, very tough to KO. Not impossible, mind you. Nope. You only ever really want to try and get 1 of them per game because the resources are intensive. But here we go. Reversal Energy, Ino combination here. Nico is going for the KO on the Goldengo. So, we got 260 HP. Gardevoir does 60, plus 30 more for each Psychic Energy. So 7 energy is needed to get the KO with Brainwave. That'll do 270. And I think Nico already has it. There's a refinement there, but the Gardevoir EX is already in hand. I think actually Nico just has it straight up.
If we see if we've got 4 energy in the discard and we see an evolution into Gardevoir EX, that will get it.
Yes, so there's the Gardevoir EX in hand. I'm fairly sure there's 4 energy in the discard pile. Surely there must be by this point, right?
Oh, there's actually another energy here that can be Shining Arcana hit an energy. You can actually just attach that to Gardevoir if you like.
Yeah, that works too.
And then you only need to accelerate 3 with Gardevoir EX.
Yeah, Nico in a phenomenal position right here.
It's really annoying when you play against Gardevoir, because this happens way too often. You get your big 2-prize Pokemon, you take out a little Pokemon and you think, oh, I got 260 HP, they're not going to KO me back. And Gardevoir's like, yeah, no, I am.
Yeah, I have the means, I have the power, and we even see just another Mysterious Tail for good measure, just to thin out the deck even more. And there's a counter catcher too. Oh, okay. Now this brings an interesting decision, because do you now go after that Palkia V-Star?
Yes.
Right, okay, that's an easy answer then.
Now, Nico has played this deck a lot more than me. Nico might have a different opinion. The reason I like going after the Palkia is very simply because it cuts off a line of play. If you get a Goldengo, there is another one ready to go. If you take out the Palkia, Star Portal is off the board. It is an option which no longer exists. Your opponent has fewer plays that they can make. That's why I like going after the Palkia personally.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like, the only difference between the 2 Goldengos is that there's a metal energy on one of them, but Yell can easily get another one. Like you said, if you take out the Palkia, that is just an option that they have that is just no longer on the board. And
it looks like we are going after the Palkia, because there's 8 energy on there. You only need 7 to go after Goldengo, but you do need the 8th if you're going after Palkia. So here comes a counter catcher. We knew the second that 8th energy went down, it was going to be Palkia, and I love this play because now Yell has fewer options, and that's what I'm looking for if I'm Nico.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier about how, maybe there could be a play at some point where you do Star Portal and you accelerate to the Radiant Greninja and you go for a Moonlight Shuriken. You can't do that anymore. Forget about Manaphy. You just can't accelerate the energy quickly enough.
And fun little side note, Nico just used one of his 2 reversal energy for that play and then drew the other reversal energy off the prizes.
Oh, okay.
So that is now available.
There's Goldengo number 3. There's Pokestop as well for good measure. So yeah, can refill this hand a little bit. There is an Iridir in hand as well, so could use that to grab a couple of key pieces. Shouldn't be too difficult to piece together a KO.
You need 1 basic energy. Literally 1 basic energy, because that Gardevoir is weak. So 1 basic energy will do 100 damage, and boom, there's a KO.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, I guess I'm more thinking a little bit ahead. Do you want to go a little bit greedier, maybe try and piece together a KO on the Gardevoir EX? It's possible.
I don't really like either option. Here's my reasoning.
Okay.
If you KO the active Gardevoir, well, the Gardevoir EX on the bench plus the reversal energy, which won't be live now but will in the future, it means those return KOs are going to be easier. But if I go after the Gardevoir, then I'm actually turning on the reversal energy, and that Gardevoir has already got everything it needs to KO me. So I don't want to go after the Gardevoir EX, because then Nico's got the return KO on the board ready to go. But by the same token, if I KO that active, I get 1 prize, and what's to stop Nico just doing that again, although reversal energy wouldn't be live?
And that exact dilemma is honestly, I think, one of the biggest arguments to the strength of Gardevoir, because when you set yourself up in this position, you know that that's going to be the case. You accelerate the energy in a way where if your opponent goes after the thing that accelerates the energy, they're not going after the attacker because the energy stay on the field. So it's a catch-22 situation. Like you said, either way, it's not really a great choice unless you can find some way to deal with both at the same time, but not many decks can do that.
No, they really can't, and it's one of my things about Gardevoir. It's so annoying to play against, because everything you do, they've got something they can use to punish you, and it really does seem like the last couple of weeks is the coming out party for Gardevoir. It's Gardevoir's going, look, I've been kind of on the fringes, but now I'm on the front.
Oh, okay, but here we go with an Avery. I think this is going to be key, really, for Yell. Just, trying to prevent some of the plays that Nico can do. In this instance, because the Palkia V-Star is gone, I think you're pretty safe to get rid of the Manaphy at this point, and the Mew, I think, has already kind of spent its purpose, so just keep your field full of Gardevoirs and Roltzes, I think is fine, but, Avery very strong here.
Yeah, Avery's fun. It hurts your opponent's bench. Nico does have those obvious targets, like you've said, but whoever wants to give up 2 bench spaces?
Well, no one, right? I mean, especially not a deck like Gardevoir.
Although you did, of course, nail it, Manaphy and Mew. It had to be Manaphy and Mew.
Yeah, it did in that instance, because you want to be able to make sure that you can do, once your Gardevoirs inevitably get KO'd, you want to make sure you can evolve up into new ones and keep that chain of attackers and support Pokemon going.
Okay, Yell's got a really cheeky play here.
Oh.
It's gone, oh, your Manaphy's gone. Now I'm going to bench another Palkia.
Oh,
so
okay.
Look out for next turn. Things could get fun.
So, with that in mind, I actually think now is an even better time to go for the KO on the Gardevoir EX, and here's my reasoning. You KO the Gardevoir EX this turn, you force Nico to find a rare candy to get another one out. If they can't do that, next turn, you can come in with the second V-Star, attach the Radiant Greninja with the Star Portal, take a double knockout on a Ralts or Curlier and the damaged Gardevoir in the active. What do you think?
I still think you're probably going to go after the active here. I don't like leaving a Pokemon on the board with that much energy doing that much damage. And it's so hard to get the EX on the bench. You need Gusting, you need 7 energy in hand. So we are just going to KO the active. I like the line of play there. I just think it's asking too much and doesn't give you enough of an advantage.
Yeah, you're probably right. Now, one saving grace for Yell here is that there is no Curlier on the field. There's no Shining Arcana Gardevoir on the field. Nico's draw options are very limited. His hand is very big, so he probably can still pull off a very good counter move, but this is not usually where Gardevoir wants to be at this stage.
And if we don't see a Manaphy coming down, this is going to be a very big deal.
Then absolutely it is. So going to be very important for Nico to find that now. Does find a Curlier for now, so there's going to be at least, you know, 1 90 HP in range target for Radio Greninja to go after. But Nico really wants to find a rare candy and another Shining Arcana Gardevoir to evolve into this turn. That's going to be absolutely crucial.
And of course, one option that Yell has is to actually take one prize, but soften up the EX, bring it down to a much more manageable number, so then you can actually take it out in the future, because at the moment that 310 HP is proving to be a problem.
Yeah, it really is. Although another play you could do, actually. So if Nico does find the Shiny Arcana Gardevoir and attacks with it, you're going to have to accelerate energy onto it. That's going to weaken it. We know that there's a Curlier in hand already, so one of the Ralts is going to become a Curlier. You can take a double knockout on the damaged Gardevoir from the Psychic Embrace and the Curlier, and leave your opponent with just a Gardevoir EX out in the field.
I mean, that would be fun for Yell there. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
We've actually already seen the Ralts turn into the Curlier.
Well, there you go.
That has already happened, so yeah. I mean, either way, I think we could be looking at a double K. I mean, you've got to be looking at the Greninja play. And all you need to pull it off is Palkia V-Star and a way to get Golden go out the active. Yeah. That's it. That's literally it.
It is. And oh dear, Nico just went for the Arton. No basic Pokemon, no basic non-rulebox Pokemon in deck currently.
That's not an ideal situation, because this Greninja is going to get rid of 2 of them. We might be seeing what you said, Freya, whereby it is just a Gardevoir EX on the field. And look, I know Gardevoir's a good deck, but that might be too much for even that to come back from at that point.
It is, which is why this Zacian V, which Nico just benched, is very, very important. Now he actually has a backup attacker, and now leaving the Gardevoir EX on the field is too dangerous.
Yes, but you kind of have to weaken it quite a bit in order to get it attacking. So then it's going to be, and it's weak to metal, so it's going to be really easily return KO'd.
Yeah, that's true.
So what do we need? So 200, so it's, again, it's 7 energy.
Yeah, it's the same amount, of course, as we already mentioned. Storm Slash and Brainwave, essentially the same attack. Both do
they're literally identical.
But they're different names.
Okay, fine. But in terms of effect and cost and all of that, but no, here's the, okay, this is big. It needs to be 6 from the ability, 1 from the hand. Yeah. Because that keeps it out of range.
Or a boss's orders to bring up the Palkia V.
That also is actually a very good play, because you need to keep it out of range of Greninja, and this is great from Nico here. That Greninja was going to be a huge problem. Now the Greninja can't get powered up, and Nico's going down to 2 prizes remaining, and this is turning into a very, very different game.
Yeah, this is absolutely the right move that Nico needed to make. Oh, of course, the second Shining Arcana Gardevoir was prized, so he had to do the play that way.
He did, and he did it very nicely indeed, because here's the thing. You don't really care about this. Like, this action's going down. You need 1 energy. It's again 1 energy.
Well, yeah.
With weakness is 100 plus a 120 on that. That's the KO. But Nico doesn't really care. The Zacian's done its job, and now you just need a 2-prize KO next turn, and that's it. You've won the game.
Yeah, I mean, actually, Nico getting that Shining Arcana Gardevoir at the prizes was very important because now Nico has an attacker for next turn to actually evolve into and take the last KO, which not sure if he had before.
I mean, that always helps. Having an attacker is generally a pretty good thing, and it does seem like Nico is in a very good position here. That Radiant Greninja play would have been amazing, but that Radiant Greninja play never happened, and Nico has put himself in a phenomenal position, and this is what I've been saying all game. Every time you think you've done something clever against Gardevoir, they seem to have an answer to your cleverness.
Yeah, which is why this Roxanne that Yell has in hand is going to be very important to just try and maximize the odds that Nico misses the counter attack.
And then that does open up a play next turn. You KO the Zacian this turn, and then next turn you go for the giant KO on the Gardevoir EX to finish out the game and win. So
yeah.
that is essentially Yell's win con here, but Nico's gonna have a turn to try and get out of it.
Yeah, and all Nico, let's be real here, all Nico really needs is to get the Shining Arcana Gardevoir out. I guess you need like one more energy as well, because if you accelerate 6 from the Psychic Embrace, that won't quite be enough.
No, you need 7 energy, and you're not going to be behind on prizes, so reversal energy isn't going to work. So you need 1 energy, and you basically need an energy, but no, there's already an energy attached.
Oh, there is. Okay,
then you can just evolve into the Gardevoir, accelerate 6 energy with the EX, and then you're good to go.
Okay, so yeah, no, doesn't need to find the energy, but just does need to find a way back into that Shiny Arcana Gardevoir. So 6 drawn for Yell, 2 drawn for Nico. What does Yell find? Just a bunch of stuff. Would have liked to have been able to evolve that Palkia, but not an option sad. The coin bonus, as mentioned in the active, it draws 2 instead of 1.
Does he have an energy to attack with? Oh, he's got...
It's the one on there already.
No, discard from hand.
Oh!
But it has just drawn a superior energy retrieval.
Yeah, so that's completely
fine.
fine.
Will be an energy.
Yeah, and 2 more coin bonuses for good measure. So let's see, cross switcher and an energy retrieval as well. Maybe just go for that one instead, because that way you can save the superior energy retrievals for the big KO later.
There's at least 3 superior energy retrieval in hand.
Yeah.
So with gusting, that should mean that Yell can actually get the Gardevoir next turn, if there is a next turn.
Yeah, so you can just go ahead here and discard the 1 energy to get the KO. As we already mentioned, the Zacian V is weak to metal. You could also maybe attach the metal energy, but probably not much point, because if your Goldengo gets KO, you lose anyway. So may as well just keep it in hand, build up the energy in hand to get the KO on the Gardevoir EX. And now it's down to Nico. Does Nico find the Shining Arcana Gardevoir to take the return knockout and win game 1?
Yeah, and it really is as simple as that. You will need... And you don't even need a pivot option. You can just put it in the active if you want to.
Yeah. Although Nico is considering this a little bit. I think he's probably calculating what are my odds of actually hitting this, especially considering, I mean, it was Roxanne, so it was shuffled to the bottom. Oh, there's
an INO to 2.
I mean, it does take a bit further, but it's just not quite good enough.
Looking through the deck there, calculate the odds, what could actually do. There is a Scream Tail in the deck, so trying to think about Scream Tail, of course, it does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Really maxes out at 160.
Yeah, so you play it down from the artisan just to thin out the deck. It's 1 less card that is not a Shining Arcana Gardevoir, so...
And to be clear, it is currently turned off by Manaphy anyway. You could only hit the active.
Oh yeah, well, exactly, yeah. So, Refinement, 2 cards. We would have slammed it. There's no way that you hit it. So, Level Ball, just to have a look through again. Is it going to be just like INO for 2 and then hope to find it off of that?
I mean, you might have to, frankly, if you've got nothing else, because that's it. As soon as you evolve into that, you accelerate 6 energy with the EX. You've got 7 energy on. You deal 270, and then you get the KO on the Goldengo. Jobs are going to move on with your life. You win game 1. Let's go to game 2. Although you will need a pivot option for the Cresselia as well.
I mean, you can just like embrace to it, right? And then
good shout, yeah. As long as there's another energy in the discard, which you assume there is.
Yeah, but I mean, a bunch just got put in there from the Zacian. You just attach it and then discard it to retreat and then put it back on the Gardevoir. So
absolutely, we do see an evolution into the Mirage Step Curlier, and this is it. Can you get the Gardevoir off of these 2 cards? If you do, you win the game. If you don't, you're giving Yell a chance to win next turn.
Nico letting us build up the tension here, just letting Yell shuffle the hand before he puts it to the bottom so he can draw. But we're going to see the cards get flipped over. Is one of them Shining Arcana Gardevoir? No, it's a miss!
Oh, and that incidentally is why you don't put the Curlier into the active at the start of the turn, because it gives you an option to kind of keep it safe on the bench if your opponent doesn't have Gusting.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that, right? Does Yell have... there's loads of superior energy retrieval in hand. There's 6 energy in the discard. There should be at least 1 in hand. So I believe it is literally just Gusting we need here.
It is. So... yeah, there's a bit of a tricky decision here because Nico's thinking what makes more sense to KO, the Manaphy or the Gimme Ghoul. Went for the Gimme Ghoul thinking it's 1 less draw off of a Goldengo, and that was very relevant because Yell literally drew a Goldengo for turn.
We've got 1 cross switcher in hand. I don't believe there is a second. Now, this is not a deck that plays boss's orders, incidentally. It is just cross switcher. We need a second cross switcher. There's no counter catcher, which would be on board, but it's not in there, so it doesn't matter. There's no boss's orders. It is literally just cross switcher. There is 1 in hand. If you can get the second one here, you can KO the Gardevoir. Job's a good one. You win game 1.
Very heads up here from Yell. Decided to use the Artisan, knowing that you couldn't grab anything, but just to shuffle the deck. Of course, with the INO, everything goes to the bottom, so you know that some of the cards you need are going to be more inaccessible. So very, very smart there from Yell.
And Pokestop goes and gets you item cards. One of those item cards could be
Cross Switcher.
So that gives you 3 more chances to actually get it. We draw 2. Was that a cross switcher?
Yeah,
yes.
What? Okay.
Now we still need a pivoting option of some description.
Yes, we do. So, Yell's going to be very, very careful and considered with this. We have some of the combo already, but now we just need a ton of energy. That's all we need. And we can find that via, superior energy retrievals. We just need the card to discard from that as well. So, a good Pokestop and 2 more good coin bonuses will get the job done. Yeah,
the INO, of course, got rid of those superior energy retrieval out of Yell's hand. So, 7 energy is a number. 6 energy does 300. That is 10 damage short. But we already see the double cross switcher coming down. This is it. This is the turn. It has to be this turn.
And it's very sensible doing this because you do this now, you can get another double coin bonus from this new Goldengo in the active.
Yep, so you're drawing 4. There's 1 superior energy retrieval there. So that's 4 energy. That's not enough,
a second one would do the trick, though, because that would be the 1 you need to attach to attack, and then the 7.
And there's a second superior and an energy in the discard. Now, how many energies in the discard? Is it 8? I think it is 8 because you need 7 plus 1 to attach to the active. I think there is 8 in the discard.
Yeah, and right now there's not quite enough cards in hand to discard for it, but you can just do the last coin bonus to draw another card. Then you have 6. You can discard 2 off one superior, 2 off the other, and that will get the job done.
And I love that Yell just went and counted them out for us, showed us there was 8. 1 to attach to Goldengo, 7 to discard to make it rain big, and that should give us everything we need here.
And working for good measure as well. Why not?
Well, just gets you 3 extra cards. So there's your superior energy retrieval. There's 4 energy.
Yes, so 4.
And there's your second superior energy retrieval. There's 4 more energy. You attach 1, discard 7, a gigantic make it rain for 350 damage, and Yell is going to take game 1.
Absolutely phenomenal display there from Goldengo, making it rain all over that Gardevoir EX. That is an absolutely astonishing win.
That was rain like when I got stuck in a typhoon in Japan when I went to the World Championships. Ruined a day of my holiday. Lots of rain, and I tell you what, might have been a little bit more in that game.
Was it a Goldengo that caused that then as well? Was it raining coins?
I can neither confirm nor deny it was caused by Goldengo. But Goldengo here is in a great position. We are 1 game up in this matchup and coming into this game with 31 points. Now, I don't know if 34 is safe, but I do feel pretty confident that 35 will be safe. I've not done the maths, I could be wrong. So you win this game and you should be able to tie with your opponent next round, and that should put you into top 8, an actual Goldengo in top 8 of a regional.
If that happens, I am sure that people are going to raise the roof. Like, what an absolutely phenomenal thing to happen. Just didn't we say at the beginning of this tournament that there wouldn't be any major surprises, that we didn't think anything in top 8 would take anyone by surprise? I think we might be proven wrong here.
I said that Knoxville really shook everything up. Going into Knoxville, I was on the we know what's happening train. Knoxville, I loved Knoxville Regionals because it was kind of like, hey, Iron Valiant's relevant. Gardevoir might be the best deck in the format now. Roaring Moon is still on a massive tear. The format is not what you thought it was going into Knoxville. I loved that tournament for that, and we are carrying it on today.
Yeah, and oh dear, those prizes for Nico, ouch!
Yeah, 2 routes, 2 Curlier in a Gardevoir deck, not ideal, and it does include the Mirage Step Curlier.
Oh, I'm thinking back to another game we casted together where we said, what, you price 2 Rolts, but if you don't price Mirage Step, it's also fine. This is not fine!
And you bench prize one of the other Curlier, so you've got a maximum of 2 Curlier, 2 of those Gardevoir line to play with. That is far from ideal.
So, okay, Nico needs to get down a Manaphy yesterday. I really hope there's not a Battle VIP pass here, because if you don't get the Manaphy down quick enough, Radiant Greninja is going to put a lot of hurt on you.
Yeah, if Radiant Greninja takes out the only 2 route / Curlier, that's game pretty much at that point. It's very hard to play a Gardevoir deck with no Gardevoir pieces.
Yeah, so Mysterious Tail, I guess this is, you know, the pivot card, the consistency early on for Gardevoir. Absolutely phenomenal bit of cardboard there. Used in Gardevoir as well as Charizard, of course, but doesn't find another Battle VIP pass, it looks like. So gonna probably have to be like a Fog Crystal, or is that an Ultra Ball or a Level Ball? I mean, again, you really need this Manaphy. You can't afford to not get it. Maybe you can wait 1 turn, but at least turn 2, you need to get it down.
Yeah, next turn will be fine. You don't need it this turn, but you need it next turn. Because the other thing is, that you can get information into Pokemon TCG by what your opponent doesn't do. If you play against a Gardevoir deck and they end with 2 routes, especially if they play more Ball Search cards, that gives you the information that it's not there. Is that treble Battle VIP pass?
That is triple Battle VIP pass.
Love
Just
it.
fanning them all out.
Like, infinite basics onto the bench. Or, you know, 5.
Yeah, 5.
But I like to talk about, you know, Battle VIP pass letting you pick your perfect bench. This is very literally, you have 5 bench spaces, go and pick the 5 basics you want.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So if I were to guess, I'd say, you know, there's probably going to be a Palkia going down, maybe 2, and then a bunch of Gimmiggles.
There's going to be Gimmighoul. Are we going to see a Radiant Greninja as well?
Oh, right, of course. Yeah, how can I forget? Don't believe it was prized, right? I didn't actually. Maybe it is prized.
I don't remember it being prized.
We were so distracted by Nico's prizes, right? Actually, I didn't quite catch it. But
I don't remember Radiant Greninja being prized.
Okay, it's it is. Well, we missed that completely.
Oh, it is prized. Oh, that's kind of annoying.
Oh, yeah, just a bit.
Kind of feels like it evens things up a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so, because you're worried about the double knockout with the Radiant Greninja, but then if it's prized, well, that's not happening, is it?
I will say, when one player's prized 2 routes and 2 Curlier, it does distract you a bit from the other player's prizes.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Oh, that Radiant Greninja is prized, so that is awkward.
Yeah, I mean, this is still a phenomenal setup, of course. So, you know, don't get it twisted. I mean, this is a free Battle VIP pass. You can't really complain about that, but you can't really maximum capitalize on it if that Radiant Greninja isn't available to you.
You can't, but you know, let me know in the chat. But I'm willing to bet no one's got sympathy for a player who starts treble Battle VIP pass while his opponent prizes 2 routes and 2 Curlier. That's still a pretty good position all in.
Yeah, it is. I think it's important to note as well that. I was about to say that. Yella isn't playing Hisuian Heavy Ball, but actually no, Yella is playing Hisuian Heavy Ball, so could use that to fish it out as long as it's not also prized, which, to be fair, I didn't quite catch at the beginning either.
I mean, the problem with Hisuian, and I know we've seen it plenty of times on stream, but it's an item card. It's hard to find. You're playing 1 in your deck. It is not exactly that reliable to just draw into your 1-of item card.
In most cases, but don't forget, this is a deck that plays Irida.
Ah, touche.
Yeah, so of course, Irida, just that phenomenal supporter, lets you search a deck for a water Pokemon and an item card, so actually a reliable way of searching items from the deck.
If you can find your Irida.
Oh, well, of course, yeah, that is true.
Had to. So we get an energy onto the Gimmighoul, and it's interesting. Yella's actually left the bench space open, quite possibly in the hope of drawing that Hisuian Heavy Ball.
Okay, what does this Gimmighoul's attack do again?
What does this Gimmighoul's attack do? You flip a coin until you get tails. You do 20 damage for each head.
Oh, wow. Okay, that could have been a hilarious knockout there on a Mew, but it looks like it was tails right from the get-go, so...
It was a 1 in 16 chance of getting a KO. It was not high, but let's face it. Oh, no, sorry, a 1 in 8 chance. That's still a low chance.
Yeah. So at Liverpool Regionals, I played against someone who I ended up winning the game because they unfortunately were late, so they got a game 1 loss. But at one point, they were able to get 3 heads on the Gimmighoul's attack and KO my Spiritomb. That was pretty funny.
It's always fun. When you can get a KO in a weird way, that is always fun.
Right, so what does Nico do here? We see the Scream Tail coming down, not use the Mysterious Tail yet. Does have one Curly already, so, you know, off to a decent start with that. We know that there's not going to be a flood of Gardevoirs here. There are only 2 Curlies to work with and 2 Rolts, so really not ideal there, but does find another level ball, so we'll be able to get Curly at number 2 here. And especially not seeing the Greninja coming down, maybe thinking it might be a little bit safer in terms of whether you need to get down to Manaphy or not.
Yeah, no, we do see the Manaphy coming up. But again, like I said a minute ago, there's information from what your opponent doesn't do. That also leads to mind games. Don't bench the Greninja now. Make your opponent think you don't have it, so they don't play their Manaphy, and then you slam it down and go and attack with it. Nico potentially going, you know what, maybe I'm not going to let you do that.
Yeah, the Mysterious Tail there, no options except for the level ball, but still, you know, very, very good find. Going to be able to get another 90 HP Pokemon from the deck. I don't like level ball's rotating, isn't it? With the next rotation,
we are losing level ball. Last printed in Battle Styles, if I remember correctly.
That's gonna be a big miss. So many decks, of course, rely on level ball for search. Just like a fantastic searching card. There is Curly at number 2 with another level ball in hand. So of course, not quite using it yet. Refinement discards a Psychic Energy, draws 2. Oh, finds a Gardevoir EX. That's gonna be good for next turn.
Yeah, that's always going to be nice. Get evolved up and get rolling with that.
Yes, but other than that, you're not really mounting any attacking threat this turn. There's no way to get a Gardevoir EX out now. There's no Rolts to evolve, even with a rare candy. So you're limited to 1 energy per turn. It's not going to be in good stead. But, oh, there we go. Nico goes ahead and benches that Manaphy.
Yeah, he searched out the Manaphy a minute ago. So I figured it was coming down. And it really is a case of, I'm not falling for your mind games. Maybe you have it, maybe you don't. I'm not giving you the option.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of bodes well for Yellow, right? Because that means that now Nico has essentially benched a Pokemon that, for now at least, is not very useful to him, right? And obviously he's not 100% at that, and he knows that Yell can eventually get it out, but for now at least it's kind of a good little mitigation that he's forced Nico to do.
Yeah, kind of like a pseudo-collapse stadium. Give your opponent essentially 4 bench spaces.
Yes.
Always nice and fun. So we've drawn a couple of coin bonuses with GHOLDENGO EX. Can we get any more evolved up? And obviously, if you can get all 4 evolved up, that is a lot of draw that you're getting every turn.
Yeah, it's depending on how many times you can switch, you can even do it all the way up to 8, of course. I think more likely to be 5 in a given turn, or let's say 6, though. I mean, that would have to be... You have to do a lot of switching for that. This deck doesn't play many switching cards apart from, of course, the cross switcher, which we saw used to such great effect last game.
I mean, it's 5 extra cards a turn. That's still pretty nice.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you think about Zoroark, right? That's the archetype that basically drew a bit more than that extra cards per turn, and was one of the best archetypes of all time. Now,
or Gardevoir.
Or Gardevoir, for that matter. Yeah, exactly. Earthen Vessel played, finds a Metal Energy and a Water Energy. The energies are building up in the hand nicely here. You don't need too many to KO this Mew, of course. It does only have 60 HP, but with that Dark Weakness, not Metal Weakness, you do need to discard 2 for the KO.
Yeah, it's actually much harder to KO than most of the stuff in Nico's deck. You do need to discard 2 energy. One thing worth noting, we are down to 8 minutes remaining in this game. Yell is up 1 game to 0. If this game doesn't finish, the match will end in Yell's favor, so just something to keep an eye on. There's a lot of 2 prizes on the outside of the board. Gives Nico a chance, you know, when time is called, potentially taking 4 prizes in 2 turns is absolutely doable, but it is something to just keep an eye on as we go through the end of this game.
Yeah, it is. So evolving into the Origin form Palkia V-Star there, just getting that ready for later. Even going to opt to attach manually to it. Of course, you know, like we mentioned earlier, it has an attack, Subspace Swell, a phenomenal attack, a tournament-winning attack in many regards, but does decide to not go for it in the end, just discards 2 Water Energy, KOs the Mew, and takes the first prize of the game.
Yeah, not a bad position at all. We have a couple of updates in games. Matthias Jakobsen has gone up to 33 points with Iron Valiant, and Pedro Vincenzo has gone up to 33 points with Charizard. They're not into top 8 yet, but they're in good position going into the final round.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that update there, Ross. In the game, another important update to note, Yell did not take Greninja from the prizes just there, so still no access to Greninja.
No, but with that Manaphy down, it's a little bit sad. That would have been a really fun play. Nico, and look, at this point in the game, Yell kind of knows there's a bunch of routes prized. Because there's no way Nico's gotten this far into the game and hasn't found a way to get a 3rd route. Now we've got a level ball coming down for Jirachi. So at this point, Yell is absolutely certain you've got a couple of routes prized, and that says 2 things. Try to let Nico not take any prizes and go after those Curlier.
Yeah, it's you know, I think you could almost call the theme of this game working with information based on what your opponent doesn't do. It's a point you've raised a couple of times, and it's a really valid one. It's just as much about seeing what your opponent isn't doing as much as it is about what they are doing to determine the best play going forward. So it's very, very poignant.
Yeah, it's a very, very good shout. We do see a couple of cards being drawn here. We do have the Gardevoir in the active, and we see a Gardevoir EX coming down, which means no Curlier for the time being. So, well, I mean, I was just going to say, well, are they going to get... They've got the energy. Like, yes. I don't say any of that. KO's on board.
Yeah, so, I know, and the counter catcher as well, again, to bring up that Origin Form Palkia V-Star.
Yeah, once again, we saw 8 energy going on rather than 7, which completely gave the game away. You need that 8th energy. Does go and get a Curlier, but doesn't get one of the routes off the prizes. So
now it's going to be very important for Yell to take a return KO here. And, I mean, let's not get it twisted. It's going to be very easy for Yell to take a return KO here. And now it's going to leave Nico a little bit more limited on attacking options because, yeah, there's nothing else to evolve up into Gardevoir. So Nico's going to be forced to attack either with the Gardevoir EX, or I guess you could Scream Tail, but you're not KOing anything then. It's very, very awkward situation for Nico.
And when you're down 1 game anyway, it is not where you want to be. The prizes have not been kind to Nico here at all. And of course, Yell had a very, very good setup with that triple Battle VIP pass on turn 1. You've given up a couple of prizes, but it hasn't really mattered. Here comes Avery here.
Oh, and that's very brutal, actually. I think your choice there has to be the Radiant Greninja because you need the Scream Tail to have another option to attack with.
Scream Tail's gone.
Oh, is it gone?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, wait, no, I know. I literally just said, yeah, it doesn't really KO anything. So, yeah, of course, it makes sense to get rid of the Scream Tail. Yeah, no.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but we have a second screen here where we could see the Scream Tail was gone.
Yeah. You know, it may be really great if I followed my own train of thought and advice sometimes, but, you know, easy to get lost. Ultra Ball now discarding another Ultra Ball and a Pokestop. And, going to go for the other Goldengo. Okay, I was thinking maybe you might want to go for attempt number 2 with the Origin Form Palkia V, but, I mean, getting four coin bonuses into play is also pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, 5 extra cards a turn, 1 per Goldengo plus an extra one for the active, and that is going to be good. I mean, you've got the KO on the Gardevoir here, and this is going to be the turn, because Yell knows that Nico didn't have any routes, and then Nico took 2 prizes. So if Nico doesn't bench another routes here, you go hard after that Gardevoir EX. That is a turn where you really try and overextend and get it, and just completely get your opponent out of the game.
Yeah, and if you do that, you probably just win from there because then, you know, Nico is forced to bench Rolts to set up again, and you can just pick those off so easily.
Yeah. It is very, very difficult from that point. Plus, you'd then be down to 2 prizes remaining with Nico just not having any attackers set up. So there is the KO on the Gardevoir, just a single energy doing more than enough damage. And now what can Nico do? Because we know there is not a routes available unless we can get Super Rod going and recover one.
Okay, there's something that we've neglected to mention up until now. Yell plays Canceling Cologne. He literally just played it right now to get out of the hand, so I guess he's giving up on that, you know, double KO play, but that could have actually come into effect like multiple times.
Yeah, bringing the Manaphy active, playing Canceling Cologne to turn off Manaphy's ability, and then going after the Radiant Greninja play. But we never really had a chance. There was never Greninja and Palkia on the board at the same time, not the V-Star at least. So it was unfortunately never really an option.
No. So
would have been fun, though.
It would have been fun. Okay, very interesting here. Nico had a Super Rod in hand, but didn't opt to play it, and now just played the Level Ball. So I guess wanted to play the Level Ball first to kind of look at what was in the deck, but then, like, yeah, there's a discussion going on here because you played Level Ball first, right? You can't get the rolls. You didn't Super Rod.
It depends what else is in the hand, honestly. I honestly couldn't tell you. There's the Ultra Ball. So it looks like the rolls is coming straight back out again here. So thinning out the hand a little bit, and one of those Pokemon is coming straight back. You've got to imagine it's the rolls, yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's a little bit interesting because, I mean, if Nico had just done Super Rod first, you could have, you know, grabbed the rolls and then used the Ultra Ball to grab something else as well.
You absolutely could. I think there was an element of getting information there. And also, you still had the Ultra Ball, so you still got it out.
Yeah.
You still ended the turn where you wanted to be.
Yeah. I mean, Nico's hand. Okay, there isn't much else he'd want to get out, I guess, is the other thing, because the Zacian V is already there in the hand, ready to go. So yeah, you kind of have to bench that if you want something to attack with. There's a worker there as well in the hand, maybe to just kind of top up a little bit more. Again, it's a little bit of an awkward turn for Nico here.
It's so awkward, and we're seeing very much a return to last game as we see an Ino putting both players to 4. And that is, you get that first KO with your Gardevoir, then you bring in Zacian because your Gardevoir EX is too awkward to KO, so it's sent to stay on the board, and then we're going to try and see, you know, the third KO. The problem is, it didn't work last game when Nico had access to a lot more Gardevoir pieces. Is it really going to work this game? And it's all Nico's really got available to try.
And especially so, it didn't work because Yell found the Roxanne at the exact right time. So if he can do that again, that's going to put him in a very good set to win, because it's going to be so much harder for Nico to piece together the win with the pieces on board, especially after a Roxanne.
Absolutely. So we're looking for 7 energy here, like we always say. There's 2, there's 4, there's 6, there's 7, and we're going to see a KO. Now, the next couple of turns are easy. Zacian KOs Goldengo. Goldengo KOs Zacian. Everyone's down to 2 prizes remaining. Then the question really becomes, can Nico get another Gardevoir and get another KO? Because reverse energy is not going to be on board.
No, it's not. They'll be even on prizes. It's very similar situation to last game, really.
Exactly. Now, still doable. It is 6 energy from Gardevoir EX plus 1 from hand. That's 7. That's the KO.
Yeah, and Yell has a 4-card hand to work with as well, so plenty of options to work with, especially going to get even more from this coin bonus. There's the Irida. You can use that to piece some more pieces together as well.
I mean, a Roxanne here would be great.
Yeah, but of course the problem is, if you play that, you can't Roxanne, so you're going to go for the coin bonus first. You really need to find this Roxanne. Is that it? Yeah.
Yes, okay, now we're cooking. Now the Roxanne is going to come down. Nico is going to be on a 2-card hand?
Yeah.
2-card hand with Roxanne. Always get it confused with Ace Trainer back in the day. Yeah. It's going to put your opponent down to a 2-card hand, and Nico is going to need, it has to be Rare Candy Gardevoir. There's no Curly on the board. It has to be Rare Candy, Gardevoir, an Energy, and a pivot if there's something else in the active.
Yes, it's very, very tough. Not undoable by any means, but we saw what happened in game 1. Yell fired off the Roxanne. Nico had limited draw options, tried to find it, and missed. And we just also seen there the time has just been called. So I do think this game will end one way or another. Either it's going to end in a tie or Yell's going to win 2-0. But let's see how it plays out here. You've got the mana for you to deal with the Scream Tail as well, just in case. This is down to the wire.
Yeah, Nico's got 2 more turns. Yell has got this turn and 1 more. But that's all we needed. Doesn't matter when time is called. That was going to decide this game. Because either Yell gets a KO this turn and next turn, and that's a win, or Nico gets a KO on his next turn, and that's a win.
Yeah.
So we are actually getting, even though time has been called, we are getting a proper conclusion here. There was never going to be a 4th turn from here.
No, there wasn't. So here we go. Roxanne. This is the key turn of the game. As long as Yell can find a KO here, it's going to be down to, does Nico find the pieces to evolve up into the Gardevoir Shining Arcana and take the return KO?
That's going to be very, very big. Of course, when I say you need an energy, and you do, remember that Gardevoir's ability can get it that energy and attack.
That is a very good point as well. So yeah, so finding the Gardevoir is really, really crucial here. Not that it ever wasn't.
If it's Rare Candy Gardevoir, you're golden.
Yeah.
Go. Had to.
Honestly fair.
I'm getting dirty looks from people backstage. Don't even care. That pun was great.
No, it was. I can't even be mad at that one. And now Yell is in phenomenal standing here. Roxanne found exactly what he needed. Plenty of energy. Can do conceal cards to draw a little bit more. Fill up the hand, and then you've got the metal to attach, and you've got another energy to discard to take the KO. So Yell's found everything that he needed. It is all down to Nico now.
I'm getting deja vu here, Freya.
yes,
because
same.
on Yell's next turn, he's going to need double cross switcher, double superior energy retrieval. Literally exactly what we saw last game. And Nico is going to need the Gardevoir with an energy exactly like we saw last game.
Yeah, and then, then there's a Pokestop finding one of the cross switches already as well.
There's a chance that's too early, though. What if Nico uses Iono?
I mean, you have to do the dig for it, right? Because I mean,
no, you do.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, because even with that, the Pokestop thins card out the deck that you don't want to see. So
yes.
yeah, so it still absolutely is worthwhile to go for. But again, it's all down on Nico. What are these 2 mystery cards? Oh, I can't quite see them. Wait, is that a? Oh, it's an Ultra Ball and a Gardevoir EX.
That's not going to help very much. We got 1 more draw. There's no draw except for the Radiant Greninja, but we need an energy to do that.
That's not an energy, Ross.
Oh, it's a level ball, it's an Ultra Ball, and it's a Gardevoir EX.
That's that's not going to do it.
Well, okay, so basically you can level ball for a Curlier, which then takes your win condition off the board this turn.
Oh, that's true.
But then you can try and get an Iono, put your opponent down to a 2-card hand, and then next turn it's a slightly easier route because Nico does have one more turn.
Yeah, so that's absolutely going to be what Nico's going to go for here. It has to. It's the only line he can take. So he's going to look at his hand. He's going to consider it carefully. I guess you could also Ultra Ball for the Gardevoir, Ultra Ball for the Curlier as well. Oh, you're actually going to fire the Pokestop?
No. Yes.
No way. Wait, does that get him there? No, there's not enough cards to discard,
not
right?
enough cards in hand.
Wait, no, there is. No, there isn't. Is there?
I think there's 4. There's 4 cards in hand, is there?
Yeah. Okay.
So you Ultra Ball, the Level Ball, and the Gardevoir EX,
right.
And then you Rare Candy.
Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, so Nico taking a gamble off the Pokestop, but it paying off, finding a Rare Candy. So it is Ultra Ball going to discard Gardevoir and the Level Ball, find the Gardevoir Shiny Arcana, Rare Candy into it, and it's going to be Shiny Arcana to determine who wins this game.
Well. Remember, we need another energy.
Oh, they're not in deck?
We don't have it right now.
Okay.
So we're going to have to use Shining Arcana, and then we need an energy off the Shining Arcana.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry. I maybe should have, I know I got a little bit excited there, but yeah, that is part of the equation.
We have to hit an energy off Shining Arcana. We cannot accelerate 7 energy. We need 7 energy.
So, yeah, here it is. Shining Arcana. Does Nico find an energy? 1,
no.
2.
No!
Wait.
Fog Crystal doesn't. Oh, wait.
Yeah, get attached from hand.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No.
You don't get to attach. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I wanted the dramatic attaching with Shining Arcana, but of course, you draw the cards, you Fog Crystal, you get the energy, you attach from hand, use the ability.
Oh, no. Wait, this does work, right? Yeah, you attach. I think Nico's just going for the math. So you attach, Fog Crystal.
Should work quite nicely.
Yeah, you can just, you attach from hand, you do 6 Psychic Embraces, you can retreat the screen table with the Gardevoir. Yeah, so.
This should work quite nicely. This should be the game.
Yeah.
Hitting that Fog Crystal off Shining Arcana was absolutely huge. So there's all of your energy, and there is the KO on the Golden Go. We are 1 game each, and it's a very dramatic tie.
Yeah, that's one of the most dramatic ties I've ever seen, and God, you can see the look of disappointment on Niel's face. He knew he was so close to taking that, but an absolutely phenomenal, that's the most phenomenal tie I've ever seen, I'm not going to lie.
That last turn from Nico there was absurd. To recap, we saw a Pokestop which got the Rare Candy, which gave Nico exactly the cards needed to get the Gardevoir, but being 1 energy short. So you use Shining Arcana to go for 2 cards, one of which had to be an energy or a Fog Crystal. The second one was a Fog Crystal, and that gave everything Nico needed to finish out that game and end in a tie. You don't see many more ties as dramatic as that.
No, you don't. And it's so funny as well, because I think a lot of the time we hear about how if your deck isn't built around it, it's almost never wise to go for your opponent's Pokestop. But there are exceptions to that. Nico's backwards against the wall. If he didn't go for that gamble, he probably loses that game. Of course he's going to go for it, right?
Your opponent's Pokestop is a great emergency play. You never really want to do it because we've seen so many times you discard Pokemon or supporters or something else you don't want to discard. But when it's, I don't have the cards in my hand to win the game, I am definitely going to lose, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you got nothing. You're going to lose anyway. You may as well go for the gamble, and it absolutely paid off there. Actually, we wouldn't even call it a gamble, right? Because at that point, it's like if you're going to lose anyway, you know, it's not. You're betting. You have nothing to lose, literally.
And you've got to feel a bit sorry for Yao there because your opponent had to hit Rare Candy off the Pokestop. Then they had to hit the energy of Shining Arcana. And both of them actually came through, and that gave Nico the win. It wasn't very probable, but it did work very nicely indeed. And we've been working very nicely indeed, Freya, but we need to have a bit of a break. We need to get Alex and Shay in to take us into our final, it is final round of Swiss, right? I'm not going silly there.
Yeah, it is. And after that match, I need to breathe, to be honest. It's just whew, you know?
So we're going to get ready for our final round of Swiss. We're going to bring some new casters in. You guys grab yourselves a nice cold beverage, but do not go very far. We're going to be back with our final round of Swiss very shortly indeed.